You know how some people just walk into a room and they have this presence? They haven't even said a word, but you already know there's someone you should probably listen to? Well, that's not magic. It's the power of nonverbal communication. It's a silent language. And today, we're going to break down how you can speak it fluently. It kind of sounds like a riddle, doesn't it? But here's the thing. We're all doing it, every single second of the day. Your body is constantly sending out signals, broadcasting these messages about your confidence, your mood, your authority to absolutely everyone around you.
Want to see just how powerful this is? Try this little experiment. Next time you're watching TV, just hit the mute button on a show you've never seen before. It's pretty wild how much of the story you can still follow, right? You can see the arguments, the romantic moments, the power struggles, all of it, without a single word of dialogue. That's because actors are absolute masters of this silent language.
And that just perfectly nails the point made by the sociologist Dr. Irving Goffman. Even when you're totally silent, totally still, you are communicating. Your posture, the look on your face, your very presence, it's all part of the message you're sending out. So just how much of our message is actually nonverbal? Well, scientists figure it's over 60%. I mean, think about that. The majority of our communication has nothing to do with the actual words we choose. And that right there is why getting a handle on this silent language is such a total game changer. So where do we even begin? Well, we start with the foundation. And the first thing you have to get is that commanding respect isn't about being loud or aggressive or intimidating. Not at all. It's about projecting a quiet, authentic confidence that just naturally draws people to you.
Look, this is the most important part. We're not aiming for some kind of performance. The real goal is to project that you're genuinely comfortable and self-assured in your own skin. That kind of authentic confidence, it's magnetic. It builds trust. It inspires admiration. It doesn't create fear.
You can think of your posture as the headline for your personal story. On one side, you've got slouching, head dropped forward. That just screams insecurity. It literally makes you look smaller. But on the other side, just standing tall, head held high, that instantly broadcasts confidence and control. Your posture, it's the absolute foundation of your message. And you can find this stance right now. Seriously, stand with your feet about shoulder-width apart, roll your shoulders back, but keep them relaxed, not all tensed up. Straighten your spine, and here's a great little trick. Imagine an invisible string is just gently pulling you up from the very top of your head. See? It feels grounded, stable, and immediately more authoritative. That's your power stand. Okay, so we've got our foundation down. Now let's build on it with a whole toolkit of specific, actionable techniques that are going to boost your presence in any situation you find yourself in. Eye contact is probably the most powerful tool you have. Too little, and you seem insecure, but too much, and you can come off as, a little intense or aggressive. The sweet spot is a rhythm. Hold their gaze for about 3 to 5 seconds, just long enough to make a real connection. Then briefly look away, and then bring your gaze back. It feels natural, it feels engaging, and it feels confident.
And don't forget your hands. They are incredibly expressive. When you hide your hands, say in your pockets or behind your back, it can subconsciously signal to others that you're nervous or maybe even hiding something. But on the flip side, keeping your hands visible and using open gestures, palms up, that conveys honesty and openness. And just as important as what you do with your hands is what you don't do. We all need to be aware of those little nervous habits that can totally undermine our message. I'm talking about things like fidgeting, constantly playing with your ring or a necklace, or touching your face over and over. These little things, they can really distract from your powerful words. Think for a second about how you move through a room. Rushing around can signal anxiety, while a slow, shuffling walk can look kind of lazy or unsure. The goal is to walk with purpose. That means a steady, moderate pace, your head up, and your eyes looking forward, not down at your feet. It just says, I know where I'm going. Okay, here's a subtle but incredibly powerful technique, a real pro move. The next time you enter a room, maybe for a meeting or a party, don't just rush right in. Instead, pause for just a moment in the doorway. Take a second to look around the room. This tiny little hesitation, it projects so much confidence and it commands attention. It gives everyone a moment to register your presence. And by the way, your authority doesn't just disappear when you sit down. Sit up straight, with both of your feet flat on the floor. To show that you're really engaged in a conversation, lean forward just a little bit. And just like when you're standing, keep those hands visible. And try to avoid crossing your arms, which can create this defensive-looking barrier. All right, let's get into a more advanced concept. We've talked about what your body is doing, but what about what you're not saying? Let's dive into the incredible power of using silence strategically.
Now, this is a really important mindset shift. Silence isn't just empty space that we need to rush to fill up with noise. When you use it the right way, it's an active, powerful tool that can add some serious weight and thoughtfulness to everything you say. So, think about this super common scenario. Someone asks you a really important question. Maybe you're in a job interview or a tense negotiation. What's our first impulse? Usually, it's to blurt out an answer immediately. But instead of rushing, try this next time. Just pause, take a breath, take a brief moment to actually think about your response. This simple little pause, it completely changes the entire dynamic of the conversation. So why does this work so well? Well, first off, it shows you're thoughtful and confident enough that you don't get flustered. Second, it gives whatever you say next way more weight. It makes people lean in and really listen. And finally, it stops you from rambling or maybe saying more than you really wanted to. Okay, we've gone through posture, eye contact, even silence, but not a single one of these tools will work if they're missing the most important ingredient of all, authenticity. There's this technique for building connection called mirroring, where you subtly match someone's posture or their energy level. It's a great way to build rapport. But, and this is a big but, it has to be subtle. If you're obviously copying someone, it just comes off as insincere or even like you're making fun of them. Authenticity is always, always the way to go. And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. These techniques aren't some kind of costume you put on for a big meeting. The real goal is to practice them until they just become natural, automatic habits. They should be an external reflection of your genuine, internal self-respect and confidence. That's what truly commands respect from others. So as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with a question. Look, don't try to change everything all at once. That's overwhelming. Just pick one thing. Is it going to be the power stance, the doorway pause, that 3-second eye contact rhythm? What is the one single habit you're going to start practicing today?